Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Curtis. Welcome. I can't believe how fast, this year is already passing by. I mean, it seems like we just got into the winter season, but it's almost over. So, spring is right around the corner. So today I'll be talking to you guys about some of my favorite spring fragrances. So I'm thinking about doing a part 1 and a part 2. But for me, my image of spring is like green, fresh. Like typically my lists comprise of like heavy fougères, green fragrances, vetivers. So today I'll be showing you some of the fragrances that I'm really looking forward to wearing this spring. So if you're interested to see, then let's go. First up, from the house of Tom Ford, we have Beau de Jour. So this is definitely one of my favorite aromatic fougères. It's very elegant, masculine, classy. You have a bit of spice here and a bit of creaminess that pushes forward. And this one is absolutely beautiful. It definitely gives you vibes of being, straight out of the barber. You just had your haircut, fresh shave, and it's just very clean. And it's a fragrance to wear when you want to feel just very sophisticated and refined. It's quite versatile. You can wear this one to formal events, or you can wear this one dressed down casually. I wear it for both. It just works really, really well. And it's a safe reach. You're not going to offend anyone with this fragrance. It just comes off as a clean, masculine, well put together gentleman. So kind of like I said before, when you want to feel very sophisticated and refined and put together, you know what you want, you reach for a fragrance like this and it will do the job perfectly. So if you can, get yourself a sample of Beau de Jour by Tom Ford. Next up, from the house of Masque Milano, we have Hemingway. So this one's a very earthy, citrusy vetiver with a chunk of richness and a blast of earthy green freshness. I really, really enjoy this one. So this is just very, very classy smelling, but that doesn't mean you can't wear this casually. You can be casual, classy, or, dressed up and classy. But this is a very easy vetiver to wear in my opinion. It's not so challenging, but this is coming from someone who really, really loves the note of vetiver. As you guys know, vetiver is one of my favorite fragrance notes, if not my favorite fragrance note. I really, really enjoy it. So, I'm not challenged by the note of vetiver at all. It's something that when I smell it, I love it. So yeah, but in my opinion, this is definitely an easier vetiver to wear. Now, what I will say about this fragrance is upon initial blast, you do kind of get a strong smell of alcohol, at least on my skin, but that's not something that stays through the life of the fragrance. That does kind of evaporate and go away, but it kind of lasts. You do get that faint smell of alcohol for about, on my skin, for about like 8 to 10 minutes, and then once that subsides and goes away, you get that fresh, clean vetiver that's pushing forward. It definitely has that underlying earthy feel to it, but it's not like a damp or humid or dirty smell. It's just very clean and green. And I think a fragrance like this just screams springtime. So yeah, it's a go-to for me, and it's one that I'm really, really looking forward to wearing this spring. So if you can, get yourself a sample of Hemingway by Masque Milano. Next up, from the house of Essential Parfums, we have Bois Imperial. So this one is a very fresh and metallic, woody smelling fragrance. It is a beast on performance, so you need to really go easy on the trigger with this one. I will say I wore this one to work a couple weeks ago, and it was, just 2 sprays, but it filled the room. It really filled the room. So you need to be careful with this one. Overall it is a very pleasant and easy wear, but yeah.
Less is more.
One thing that I really, really like about Essential Parfum is that they produce high quality fragrance at a low price. So I think one thing you'll notice if you've ever bought a fragrance from Essential Parfum is that their packaging is basically just cardboard. So they don't spend a lot of money on the packaging, but they invest a lot of money into the production of the fragrance, which I really love. But they're still able to provide you with a low cost. I mean, you can get 100 ml for less than $100, which is just phenomenal. And the quality of this juice is unbelievable. You know, it smells great, performance is amazing, and it was perfumed by Quinton Biche. So Quinton Biche also perfumed Ganymede, if you're not familiar with that fragrance. This fragrance smells similar to Ganymede. It's an easier wear, I think. It's not a clone of Ganymede, but it goes down that same road. So it has a similar DNA. So Quinton Biche perfumed Ganymede, and he also perfumed Bois Imperial. So maybe if you smelled Ganymede before, but it's a bit too challenging for your nose, maybe Bois Imperial's a fragrance that you should check out. Again, this is a great one, and probably, in my opinion, the best from the house of Essential Parfum. So if you can, get yourself a sample of Bois Imperial by Essential Parfums. Next up, from the house of Hermes, we have H24 EDP. So as you guys can see, I've put quite the dent in this bottle. I love it that much, and it's a spring go-to for me. And I think every time I wear this one, I get compliments. It just smells good. I think it works well with my skin chemistry. You know, typically when I wear this, I do maybe 4 sprays. I get good performance on this one. So this one lasts all day on my skin, and it projects well. So yeah, I really, really like this one. It's a very pleasant wear, and people around me tend to think that it smells quite pleasant as well. Hence why I get the compliments. But yeah, this is a great one. So I have both the EDT version and the EDP. And for me, I prefer the EDP. There's just a bit more richness and depth there that helps to make this scent a bit more intriguing to me and to my nose. But overall, they're both great scents. But if I had to choose between the EDT and the EDP, I'd pick the EDP. I just enjoy the scent profile a bit more. They are very, very similar, but again, the EDP just has a bit more richness and depth that I really, really love. One thing that I really love about the house of Hermes, especially since they're a designer house, they are great at thinking outside of the box when they produce their fragrances. You know, they're not necessarily producing fragrances for mass appeal. And, you know, I mean, look at Terre d'Hermes, you know, H24, Eau Givre. I mean, those are all fragrances that, you know, they don't smell like your typical designer fragrance. Not that there's anything wrong with that at all. Those types of fragrances definitely have their place. But, you know, I really enjoy that Hermes is very, very creative and I guess forward thinking with their fragrances. And so I think that's the reason why, in my opinion, as far as designer houses go, Hermes has to be one of the best for sure. So I'm a huge fan of their fragrances, so I hope they continue to think outside the box when creating their fragrances. So if you can, get yourself a sample of H24 EDP by Hermes. And finally, from the house of Amouage, we have Beach Hut Man. So this one is quite earthy and green with a prominent mint note. And it also features the note of ivy. And I don't have any other fragrances in my collection that feature that note, so it makes this one very unique. This one is very masculine. It has a classic profile, but it's not dated by any means. So simply put, this one reminds me of just walking through the woods. The smells that you smell in the air, the freshness, the scent of the leaves that you're stepping on, the trees that you're rubbing against or brushing by. Yeah, that's this in a bottle right here. So I guess the name can be quite misleading, as maybe you're thinking, beach, like maybe this is some kind of aquatic or almost blue smelling fragrance. It's not. This one is very green, earthy, but it does have a freshness to it that, you know, makes this an easy wear for the spring and summertime. I would say if you live in a very humid climate that maybe this one might be too much, but at least that's the way it is for me in the summertime here in Japan. I can't really wear this fragrance as it does wear quite heavy, but it just doesn't work too well in my opinion in the very humid weather. But for me in the springtime, this one works perfectly and it's a go-to for me for sure. Go easy on the trigger though with this one. This one is a room filler. It has beast mode performance. I never do more than 2 sprays with this because it pushes out so heavy on my skin. But I really love this one, and it's quite a unique smelling fragrance, and one that will really help to set you apart. You know that no one else is going to be smelling quite like this. So if you can, get yourself a sample of Beach Up Man by Amouage. Alright guys, so that's all I have for you for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's content, and let me know what fragrances you're looking forward to wearing this coming spring. I'd love to hear about them. So I hope you guys are staying healthy and well, and I'll see you in the next video.